What's up, guys? It's Gaming Esquire back with another pickups video. Had a pretty good day today as far as pickups go. Grabbed several things. Met a couple thresholds on my collection that I thought I'd already surpassed, but hadn't due to some miscalculations on my part. But this should be a fairly short video, and let's jump right into it. I went to that antique toy mall place in Louisville today. Didn't find anything, but there is a video game slash toy store next door that has several games, and I've been in there a few times and gotten a few things here and there over the course of my visits. This particular time I got 4 games, 3 for the Genesis and 1 for the N64, which my girlfriend actually found the N64 game for me, and that was pretty cool. But let's see what they were. First was a classic horrible game, and that's Shaq Fu. All these are complete in box, so I'm not going to bother to open them up and show you, but this is a one-on-one fighter where you play as the great one himself, Shaq, and it's terrible, but it was released on like 6 platforms. It's not worth much. For some reason I never picked it up. Finally did. I think it was like $4, something like that. And then I got Arnold Palmer Tournament Golf. This is one of the early Genesis releases. They had this was $2. They had the Sega Classics re-release for $3. Both were complete, and I figured, why would you buy the re-release for more than the original? So went in and grabbed that as well. And then I also got, this is a pool game. It's called Side Pocket. I hadn't seen this one before. It's like $8 or $9 game, I think, normally, but I got it for $4. It's complete as well. And then I also got really nice shape, actually, is All-Star Baseball 99 for the N64. The game is still in the shrink wrap. It doesn't look like any of the stuff has ever even been played or taken out, aside from the fact that the shrink wrap's not on the actual box. So it's used new, I guess. But it was only $3, and I didn't have the game, so I figured I may as well pick it up for card-only price, complete in the box. So that was cool. That brings me to 143 N64 games, I think. So I'm coming up on the halfway point on that system. So that's exciting. And then I also went over to another store down in South Louisville that I go to probably once every, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. The guy's prices are a little higher, but he's an older guy. It's a small business. He's been in business for 20, 30 years. And you never know what you're going to find in there, because he's got, in this one cabinet, he's got like 6 rows deep. Or, yeah, 6 rows deep of games that you have to kind of dig through and see what's in there. And sometimes you find some good stuff for decent prices. And I found some pretty cool stuff today. Nothing too earth-shattering, but stuff I didn't have. So that's always a positive. For the Genesis, I got Fighting Masters, complete in the box. This one actually had shrink wrap on it, but it was a reseal. As you can see, the hang tab is not there, and the collector's card that are supposed to be in there, if it is new, are not in there. So it's obviously a reseal. And these two, I believe, are reseals as well. It's G-Lock and King Salmon, the Big Catch. It's a fishing game. G-Lock's some kind of space shooter, or kind of a cockpilot shooter, I guess. None of these are particularly valuable. I think Fighting Masters might be the most valuable at, I don't know, $10, $15, but I gave like $6 or $7 a piece for them, which is a little more than I like to pay. But the guy's got a small business he's running, and they're ones I didn't have, and I haven't seen these actually, so it's pretty cool. Also grabbed Dragon's Revenge, which is a pinball game for the Genesis I've been wanting to pick up for a while. It's kind of like Devil's Crush on the TurboGrafx. It's a pinball game where you're fighting enemies and stuff, kind of like Metroid Pinball or something. It's pretty cool. And then I got 3 NES games as well. 2 of them are boxed and 1 of them is not. But I have no idea how to say this, but it's The Magic of Scheherazade. Apparently Scheherazade is some kind of Persian princess or something in history or lore or something like that. but it's some kind of RPG, kind of an action RPG. It doesn't have the manual. Well, I take that back. It's got like 3 pages of the manual, but it doesn't have the whole thing. It was $10, I think, which is decent for a boxed NES game. I think complete it's like a $40 or $50 game, but without the manual, it's probably, I don't know, 20, 25. So not a bad pickup there. Then I got a terrible game, but made by a terrible game company, and that's the Uncanny X-Men, made by LJN. It's also missing the manual, but the cartridge is also in great shape. I think this was 10 or 12 bucks, which is a little bit less than probably what it sells for. It's probably, I don't know, $20 if you were trying to get it on eBay or Amazon, something like that. And I didn't have it, so that was pretty cool, but it's a pretty awful game. And really awful, actually. And the last one is something I haven't actually seen before. It's a Capcom game, but it's one that I was not aware existed. And that is Destiny of an Emperor. It's apparently like a strategy RPG. It's got a rental sticker on it that I'll be able to get off. That won't be a problem. It's also got some Sharpie on the bottom, but again, you can get that off with Magic Eraser. It came in one of these plastic rental cases, and unfortunately, I hate when rental stores did this. They would take the original box, cut it out, and put it in the front of the box there. So the original box, part of it anyway, is right here, and then on the inside, it's got a printout of kind of instructions for you. From when you rent the game. So I assume this probably came from a rental store at some point. In fact, I know it did. It had the rental sticker. That's like a $15 cartridge, and it didn't have a price on it. So off the top of his head, I think he just said, $8. So it was $8. I think that all in all, I spent about maybe $70 on everything today, which is a little more than I prefer to pay, obviously, but I filled some holes in my collection, and I got some stuff I didn't have. So in all total, I think now I'm at 262 NES games, 355, I believe, Genesis games, and 143 N64 games. So I've finally eclipsed the halfway mark on the Genesis, and probably about a third of the way on the NES. I don't really know exactly. I mean, I don't think there is a real definitive list of all the games. It's somewhere in the 700 to 800 range, I think, including the unlicensed stuff. But anyway, that's everything for the pickups. I also grabbed a Retron 5 this week, which I've really enjoyed. It's pretty cool. I've been playing some Hyperstone Heist on it, which is a lot of fun. Props to Leanne for getting me that for Christmas. It's been, for some reason, I'd never played it on the Genesis growing up, but it's a lot of fun. And the Retron 5 is really great. Instead of having to fiddle with a Nintendo for 15 minutes to get a game to play and then it to screw up on me 10 minutes in, it's actually clean the cartridge one time, pop it in the system, it's playing great, and doing that for the Super Nintendo games and also the Genesis games. So it's been really cool. I don't like the controller on it though. It feels cheap. It's got kind of, I guess it's an analog, kind of a clicky analog stick instead of a D-pad, which kind of reminds me of my Neo Geo Pocket, which I didn't really care for the thumbstick on that either. So I mostly just use the original controllers for everything. I haven't tried out any Game Boy games on it yet, but I'm sure that they play fine and it works well. A lot of people complained, it seems like, about the tightness of the cards in the system, but I didn't notice that it's that bad of an issue. You just have to pull them out a little more delicately, but it's not a problem. I would definitely recommend anybody that's interested in retro games and wants to save some space to pick one up. I think they're about 130 bucks now on Amazon, so definitely a good buy. Glad I bought it. It's been really cool. But I think that's everything. Let me know in the comments below if you got anything this week, and until next time, keep hunting.